Now, let's solve a question on direct memory access, which was given in GATE 2011 for 2 marks. On a non-pipeline sequential processor, a program segment, which is a part of the interrupt service routine, is given to transfer 500 bytes from an IO device to memory. And here, there is a program given. This is a non-pipeline sequential processor. And in this processor, this program has to run. Here is the program. Initialize the address register, initialize the count to 500, load a byte from the device, store in memory at an address given by the address register, increment the address register, decrement the count. If the count is not equal to 0, go to loop. Here is the loop. Okay, so this is the loop section. Okay, the loop is going to be repeated for as many times as it requires. So the total program has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 instructions, out of which 5 are in the loop. Okay, now fine, keep it aside and just stay focused to read the remaining question. Assume that the each statement in this program is equivalent to a machine instruction which takes 1 clock cycle to execute if it is a non-load and store instruction. The load and store instruction take 2 clock cycles to execute. Here he said all the instructions will take 1 clock cycle each, except load and store instructions. Where are load and store instructions do we have? Yes, there is a load instruction and there is another store instruction. These two instructions will take 2 clock cycles each. Okay, except all the instructions, except this, all the instructions will take 1 clock cycle each. Okay, now let us calculate the number of clock cycles that are required to execute the program. If you can see, 2 instructions are outside the loop and 5 instructions are inside the loop, right? So if you can have a look at, the loop is getting repeated for 500 times, right? Initialize the count to 500, and if the count is not equal to 0, go to loop. The count is getting decremented in each loop iteration, and if it is not equal to 0, we will loop, right? So loop is getting repeated for 500 times. Okay, outside the loop there are 2 instructions. 2 instructions take 2 clock cycles. Inside the loop there are 2 load and store instructions, and the remaining instructions are equal to 3. That is equal to inside the loop there are 2 load and store instructions, each will take 2 clock cycles each, which is equal to 4, and the remaining 3 instructions will take 3 clock cycles each, right? So that is 4 plus 3, and the loop is getting repeated for 500 times, right? So that is 7 into 500 is equal to 3500. Okay, that is within the loop number of clock cycles are equal to 4 plus 3 into 500. Okay, so that is 4 clock cycles are required to execute load and store instructions, because each instruction will take 2 clock cycles each. Okay, and rest of the instructions within the loop will take 1 clock cycle each. That is 3. 1, 2, 3. So the total clock cycles within the loop is equal to 500, since the loop is getting repeated for 500 times, into 7. That is 3500, plus outside the loop there are 2 clock cycles. So that in order to execute the total program, we require 3502. Okay, so these are the clock cycles that are required in this processor to execute this program. Okay. Now there is another part of the question in which he is talking about a DMA approach for executing the same program. Here he said the designer of the system also has an alternate approach of using the DMA controller to implement the same transfer. The DMA controller requires 20 clock cycles for initialization and the other overheads. Each DMA transfer cycle takes 2 clock cycles to transfer 1 byte of data from device to the memory. Okay, which means that just to initialization of DMA will take 20 clock cycle. We will write it here. Time for DMA approach. Time for DMA approach. Initialization. DMA initialization will take 20 clock cycles, right? Initialization. Okay. And DMA initialization, 20 clock cycles. And in order to transfer 1 byte of data, it requires 2 clock cycles. Okay, that means that total 500 bytes are needed to be transferred. So this 20 plus, in order to transfer 500, this 20, that is DMA initialization overhead, plus each byte will take 2 clock cycles. That is 2 into 500, because the 500 bytes are needed to be transferred, which is equal to 1020. Okay, this is 1000, this is 20, this is equal to 1020. The question is, what is the approximate speed up when DMA controller based design is used in place of interrupt driven program based input output? Okay, see, this is program based input output. As the program based input output, we are having a total of 3502 clock cycles for executing this program. But when it comes to DMA just takes 1020, right? So the speed up is equal to speed up of DMA over this program based execution is program based execution will take 3502 and DMA 1020. So the answer is 3502 divided by 1020. That is equal to 3.43. 3.43 is the answer. 3.4 is the answer.